Okay.
We're recording. So
We're
watch everything
recording.
you say.
Watch everything.
Unlike the Daily Show last night when you said we were doing drugs. Chris Rock is here, everybody.
Yeah.
He's spoken of on this podcast often. Fondly.
What do you call him?
He's the shadow exec producer of the podcast.
Shadow exec.
Never heard it. Never will hear it. But we both play a large role in one another's lives over the phone. Now he's going to deny it. And it's nice to be here. It's nice to have you. I appreciate you.
Welcome to my home.
Yes.
This is your rental home.
This is my California. Yeah.
It's nice.
As I work on Machiavelli. I'm in LA. As I work on my new opus.
And you're doing press for
Fargo season 4.
And also your learning disability. You seem to be doing
I wasn't really, things come out, Neal. I give the public me. I'm just, and it's easier than apologizing to a lot of people individually. So you just
I was sick.
You just do it over the airwaves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I can get a little of that.
It was very satisfying for me for you to have a learning disability because...
Careful.
No, it was very satisfying for me because we would argue about our different styles. Basically, I feel like I made you less cynical and you made me more cynical. Meaning... I
have that effect on people.
On the world in some way.
I have that effect on people.
And I would argue that I made you realize that there is value to feelings.
It's not. I never didn't think there were value to feelings, Neal. Maybe there's value to my feelings. Maybe
there's like your sort of gruff old exterior.
Well, I'm always like, okay, I'm the head of the family, right?
Right.
So, me and my kids, and, sometimes I'm the boss at work more times than not. So my feelings don't matter in the overall pantheon of moving things forward.
Right.
We can't slow down for my feelings.
Would you say that you found out that you kind of need to, though?
I need to slow down individually, yes, but I will never inflict my feelings on others.
But no. I think you do. I think you inflicted your feelings on others by not addressing your feelings. So then I bet that the next time you run a thing or you
run an organization,
your management style will be different than it would have been 5 years ago. Probably
a little bit
from being softer.
Nah, I mean, it's weird. There's a bunch of jobs I won't even take just producing things and directing things, because some of them, especially like a nightly show or, certain things just required an urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you have to raise your voice when things get urgent.
Yeah.
But raising your voice is against the law now. So I will not take the job. I will politely passing them. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got to assess what piece of talent you're working with. So some people don't need to be pushed. Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat does not need to be pushed.
Yeah.
But Tyler Hero might need a foot in his ass. You know what I mean? Like, he might.
Well, that's the thing about Riley is he's apparently like a real hard ass. And practice. I didn't realize there's a Lakers book called Showtime about the 80s Lakers. And he would practice the fuck out of them, I didn't know that.
Well, the Miami Heat or the LA, Pat Riley's teams are always the best conditioned teams in the league. It's very rare those guys get tired. They're like
fat.
I
guess Shaq was fat.
They're like track stars. Right. Shaq was the one. Okay, he can be fat.
Yeah.
He can have a donut, but the rest of you motherfuckers got to get this salad. And that's how you like my Pat Riley
That's
impression.
a good Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say now I want to play a game because we don't.
What's
have a
the
ton of
game?
time. The game is going to be called this Bianca. It's going to be true or false. Bianca's trying to.
Mick Jagger marry a Bianca?
He did. Bianca Jagger.
It's another Bianca.
I don't remember.
We're going to try to guess what it's a Chris Rock. Believe it or not, true, false, whatever. I'll have you try to guess what.
This is great.
Okay, we're going to start with. I'm doing 3 mics live in New York City.
Okay.
Right?
Chris Rock would call me almost every day and say, "What, Bianca?"
God.
Is it fill in the blank? For
Yeah,
Chris
if you
Rock?
can think of
What would I say now?
what do you think he would say to somebody doing
Something-
a successful one-person show?
Okay, something negative.
Get rid of one of those mics or...
No, you did give me a good note, which is stay in the mic area. That was a good note. But he would call me just about every day and go, "Don't kill yourself.
Why?
You kill yourself. Don't kill yourself." Now I know that he's a grizzled old detective, and that's his way of showing
Well, and
that
also,
he cares.
I really didn't want you to kill yourself. I was
Right.
like, obviously this is a man
This is
who's
a
thought
kid.
about killing himself.
He's a kid in pain.
So what do you say to a guy that's obviously
Well, you say
given a lot of thought about killing himself?
What a normal person says, "Hey man, how you doing?" But you, being a grizzled old detective,
Well, I just get to the point.
Yes.
They're all bullshit. They don't what
kill.
they're really trying to say is don't kill yourself.
don't kill yourself. Great. I just wanted to get that out.
At least,
Okay,
put
that
it this
was-
way, if
that
you
was
killed
about
yourself
Neal.
and all those people got together, they would all go, did anybody tell him not to kill himself? And I
No,
would be the
I
one
kept asking
person.
him how he was,
And
and
I'd
he'd
be
be
like, I feel good. I'm going to
good
go
with
have a
this.
meal.
My conscience
You
is
guys
clean.
sit here and cry. I know I told him not to kill himself.
I have a joke with our friend Dave Chappelle, which Chris's love language is open hostility. Some people give gifts. Some people words of encouragement. Chris Rock, open hostility. That was a joke that when I told you, I felt like I hurt your feelings a
You hurt
little
my
bit.
feelings.
Did you agree?
I thought it was just biting humor.
Yeah, no, it is. It was biting humor, but there's some truth to it. I don't know if you know,
I'm
but
just saying, when
Bianca, Chris's aunt had a cat. What was that cat's name?
Fill in the blank.
my aunt's cat, but so he doesn't have to say it. My aunt's cat's name was Nigger.
Hard R?
Hard R.
This is also the aunt who said
This is also the aunt that said a broke man is like a broke hand. Can't do nothing with it.
were you close with this aunt?
Yeah.
Is she still around?
Nah, she died a while back.
Would she call for the cat?
Yes, she would. She would call nigga, like my aunt. Yeah.
Would you almost come before you remember the cat's name? Look, I got to make that joke.
Hey.
Legally, I got to make
Stop
that
it.
joke.
That's so funny.
Okay, now, at Chris's school in 1975? This is the first year, but you were in the first year of busing, correct?
I was bused, let's see. Okay, I'm born in 65, so in 75 I'm 10. See how long it took me to realize that?
It's that learning disability.
That's that learning disability. I've literally had to count it. So I'm 75, I'm 10, so I would say in
What's funny is you're born in 65.
Dr. King's alive.
Yes, that's the thing of like how much like the Voting Rights Act.
The Voting Rights Act doesn't happen until 68. So I'm born, my parents can't vote.
Wow.
I mean, they can, but it's
dicey.
they're gonna get, like as you pointed out a few weeks ago, like they're gonna get probably fucked up.
Yeah,
at the polls.
Yeah, they're gonna get their ass kicked.
But what's important about that is not that Martin Luther King was so long ago. It's that it was so recent. It's not
Yes.
that you're so old. It's that wasn't that long ago.
No. Yeah.
Yes, his parents. You're the oldest,
I'm the oldest of my mother's kids. Yeah.
so could not vote. Did they vote the first year?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no.
they didn't like make it.
I mean, they eventually voted, but yeah, I don't.
Fantastic. Okay, now Chris's bus is one of the first years of busing.
Okay.
Now,
So
when
about 73, 72, 73.
72, 73, when the black kid, how many black, like 10% of the school was black?
No. It was me PS277 was me and 3 black girls.
Out of
I don't know, it was at a school.
800, 1,000?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's 4 kids out of that. So you would get when the bell would ring.
Yeah.
Everyone would
that grade school was like my first days of grade school. I remember like, there was like parents outside with like signs, no busing.
Oh my God.
Niggas go home, whatever, right? That was grade school.
Shitty.
And it was, it was hostile and kids would call you nigger and spit on you and throw
regular stuff.
Bags of shit and piss at you for the holidays. But
for the holidays.
I'm getting gassed
for the holidays,
at school.
occasional teachers would call you a monkey or whatever.
Yeah, please. That's the story I'm trying to get to.
Teachers would
explain these stories.
Neal's going somewhere.
Teachers would tell you shit under your breath. The janitors.
The bell would ring at 3 in high school or late.
One time or a couple of times. I just remember. Yeah, because we used to get out early, like they would let us out at 2:45.
They let the black kids out early so they wouldn't
safety?
get beat up.
Yeah, dude, kind of like get that over with because you don't want to just. It's easier to watch you. So we get out at 2:45.
It's in the 1700s.
Yeah, and there was so I remember one of my teachers. Time to let the animals free or some.
Time
shit
to
like
let the animals free.
Yeah.
And then the janitor said something. You said. Something awful.
Savages or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just
Wow.
awful.
Just-
So everyone's against you. Just everyone.
I mean,
in
it
this
wasn't
school is
even
against
me. It was like
you and 4 other people.
it was just whatever.
That were just against black people.
Yeah, it was just they probably didn't know my name.
Insane.
Yeah.
And have you in therapy and all the shit you're doing, are you acknowledging how crazy that is?
It's weird. I've always been able to tell jokes about it, but yeah, now in therapy, I'm allowed to, experience it as trauma.
Yeah.
You can say,
And not feel like a bitch. Feel like
and not feel like a bitch, and yeah.
And like I should. That's a fine thing to acknowledge that happened.
It's a fine thing to acknowledge, and it's also, the thing about trauma is when you experience trauma, it's not that it's basically whenever you think about it like it's happening for the first time.
Yeah, your body doesn't know when. It doesn't know if it's present, past, or future.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, therapy's allowed me to put it in the past. Like therapy's allowed me to go, okay, I'm probably not gonna get jumped today.
Yeah. Which is hard.
Which it took me a long time to like.
Now, having said that, you were getting jumped later into your career than I remember. I would have guessed.
I got robbed. The last time I got robbed was like the first week I was on SNL.
What happened?
It still makes me laugh.
On DeKalb Avenue.
Oh no.
I was walking up DeKalb Avenue and some guys punched me in the face and pulled a gun on me. And big deal.
Yeah.
I lived in Brooklyn.
Yeah, big deal.
I lived in Brooklyn before it was hip. I was born in South Carolina, raised in Brooklyn. But I never moved to Manhattan when I did SNL because I knew I couldn't get a cab.
Right.
So I had to have a car. It costs whatever, $300 a month to park a car.
A red Corvette.
In Manhattan.
You need a permit or something, right?
Right. So it's just like it costs too much to park a car in Manhattan. So I got to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want like Farley to have to get me a cab every day.
Was it known that
Would have
you
been
can't get
really
a cab?
funny.
Yeah. It was. It's still known nowadays. But now I'm kind of an old man. So it's like
like in the late 80s, early 90s, you
early
could
90s.
not get a cab.
I was 20, whatever, but I looked a lot younger. Yeah, no cab was stopping. Pre-Uber,
Yeah, like it was
whatever. It's not. I'm not.
It's just interesting.
I'm not going to sit here and act like.
I just liked how late you got robbed.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a black eye in your
like
SNL
that?
cast photo or something?
My SNL cast photo. There's a lot of makeup on.
No.
Because I kind of had a black eye. But it's a black and white picture, so it's hard to tell, but my makeup's so thick. because I had a fucking black eye.
Do you think Phil Hartman or Kevin Nealon had the same problem?
No. Maybe Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman had more problems.
Yeah.
It turns out. It turns out Phil was living far more dangerous.
Explain to Bianca what happened to the McDonald's in your neighborhood, because I have a hard time explaining this to people in a believable way.
I lived in a poor neighborhood. My neighborhood was so poor that our McDonald's went out of business.
What do you mean?
McDonald's on Broadway and I believe Kosciuszko, right around there, was literally, they might have opened it back up since then, but yeah, like literally a McDonald's boarded up. Like they couldn't
make it work.
They couldn't compete with the Chinese restaurants' chicken wings. Like they couldn't.
A $2 sandwich was too big.
They could not fuck with the bodega. Like no. Yeah, we had a McDonald's go out of business.
Okay, this is
true story.
This is another true story that
Neal marvels at my life.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Neal's writing your biography.
Explain to Bianca,
like a Benjamin Button or something.
what happened.
Like I have some great tales.
What happened? What did bullies? You said that bullies will imitate whatever they've seen in a movie.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, here's what Neal's alluding to. I don't know. Can we look up what year?
Deliverance came out in Deliverance, right?
Yeah.
Deliverance came out in 75, I believe.
Yeah. So in 75, Deliverance comes out.
Yes.
I'm 10, and the common thing was for guys to like gang up on one of their friends and kind of try to rape them.
Squeal like a pig?
Squeal like a pig.
And Squeal Like a Pig.
Squeal Like a Pig was some real shit.
What?
You're from a different planet.
I'm from a different planet. Like that shit was like, yo.
Yeah, people think like cyberbullying is a problem.
Right.
No.
You're saying
cyberbullying ain't shit. And like when first of all, Burt Reynolds was the biggest star in the world. Was basically The Rock. Okay, he was like that because it wasn't just that he was such a big star. And yeah, that was the number one scene, the most talked about scene.
Was it John Boyd or Burt Reynolds that got
No, it was Ned Beatty got raped in Deliverance. And that was very common for a lot of shit went down. I never got raped, but there
were
was
people
definitely
getting raped or just the we're gonna
definitely the attempted rapes were for real.
At like house parties.
At house parties, just like whatever. Just like you're around.
Dudes don't talk about this enough.
I've never heard of it
rape?
before he said it on the phone.
Thousands of men get raped.
No, I know that. I just mean like as a playful bullying thing.
Yeah,
70s were different.
Thousands of men get raped every year.
They were playing tackle, not tag.
Yeah, and a lot of them happen in locker rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's there's shit like that. Like I would hear about circle jerks. I've never seen that in my life. By the way. That seems like some prep school shit.
Yeah. So
whereas in locker rooms in the city.
Deliverance was the big movie.
That's so insane and hilarious to me. And just insane.
Yeah. I'm from a different planet.
Yes. Chris's father used to say about if you were trying to make a decision, what do you think his father would say about making a decision? Well, just guess.
I don't know.
My father would say, you need to make a decision before the white man makes one for you. Because you're not going to like his decision. No. So you better figure this shit out right now.
Some true...
Before the white man jumps in on this shit.
Will you explain what your father's job was? Because it's an interesting, his role.
Okay, my father was a truck driver, right? And he drove for lots of places, New York Daily News, Wrangell Brewery, Schulman's, Furs, whatever. He drove for a lot of places. But one of his jobs was they would call him when... basically when they were trying to break the union and get black guys in like the Teamsters or whatever, right? And so my father would go, my father's probably one of the first black drivers at Wrangell Brewery, or one of the first black drivers at the New York Daily News. him and maybe 2 other guys, right? And one of the reasons they chose my father is because he could take it. Much like the same reason Jackie Robinson's the 18th best black baseball player.
Right.
But he gets chosen because his demeanor.
He's the most stoic.
He's the most stoic. He can put up with this shit and keep playing. He's not going to jump in the stands and punch somebody in the face. And
so your dad was he would get harassed, basically.
Yeah, my dad would get harassed, as you will. And by the way, it's the same thing. People throwing piss and shit at you and whatever. You ever see Gangs in New York? It's very much the same.
Gangs in New York, late 1800s. Go ahead.
but
the spirit's the exact same.
The spirit is exactly the same. So my dad could take it, and later on in life, I could take it. I have a very high threshold for like pain and people doing horrible shit to me.
Has that served you, do you think, or do you wish you were a little bit more affected?
It served me in business.
Right.
It has not served me in my personal, definitely situations I probably should have, said something about.
Oh, like you'll take bullshit from people.
Yeah, just friends and whatever.
Yeah.
Just like,
people making you do podcasts.
I should have raised my voice.
Very interesting. But that's almost like I was saying on the way over here, parents didn't have no one had good childhoods before like 1980. Like the idea of a good childhood is like a fairly new concept.
Well, yeah, I mean, parents were basically judged. 80% of a parent's grade was attendance.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's like 50% of your grade is attendance.
Yeah.
But it used to be, my dad's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah, he hit me and threw a bag of piss at me, but
he's here. I saw my mom. She fed us every day. That was all it really required. Now it's like,
yeah, you have to be decent.
Yeah, you got to be better with personnel.
Oh, you know what I was going to ask you? I think it's good to call your children personnel. I think that's a good approach. I think it's a really good approach. What has having daughters taught you about women? Because I noticed, I was having a conversation with another friend of ours who has a daughter, and he's like, yeah, but she's a daughter. So he was like letting her daughter deal with emotions in a different way than he would have his son.
Well, what has it taught me about women? It hasn't taught me a lot, honestly.
I know, as a womanologist, you kind of like...
I mean, put it this way. You're right. Your son is different. And the reality is the whole world stops for a crying woman. The whole company will stop. What is wrong with Pam?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stopping for Phil, man.
Yeah.
Phil better get back to motherfucking work.
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with motherfucking Phil?
Don't be doing all that shit at the desk, man.
Phil, what the fuck is up with Phil?
Yeah.
Somebody talk to that motherfucker?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. So no, but I would say you're a whiteologist and a womanologist, and I was wondering if
I mean, no one's a womanologist. I mean, your daughter's
it's impossible.
It's fucking impossible.
You can't. Yeah, they don't have enough time.
You just don't have enough time.
Too many variations.
Too many variations. Just try to please.
And
man.
You can't get a straight answer from women about what they're like.
Fucking try to
We're
please.
both womanologists. Don't worry about it.
Just try to please.
You guys went to the same university.
We sure did.
I just try to please. I just try to please. Yeah, what's my joke? I got daughter that's 19, I got a daughter that's 18, a daughter that's 16, and I got an ex-wife that's 50, and I got a mother that's 75. When they don't get what they want, they sound exactly the same.
Yeah, you've said that joke to me as I could show you their text.
If I showed you the transcript, you couldn't tell them apart.
It's a betrayal on like a absolute spiritual level. Was Chris Rock a signed rapper at any point?
A signed rapper?
A signed or a side rapper?
A signed rapper.
Yes.
Yes, I was
Maybe
a signed rapper.
People don't know
I think it was Atlantic. There's demos out there somewhere.
Wait, you really wanted to rap?
I'm from fucking I'm born in '65. I saw Grandmaster Flash play in the park. I've been to the disco fever.
He's still hoping to be a rapper at some point.
I'm that guy.
Do you have any mixtapes lying around?
Somewhere.
Sign rapper. Now
DJ'd before I ever told a joke. It was actually not bad. Could cut, backspin.
Ever?
Could you break dance?
No, I could never break dance. But
breakdancing is so hard. It's all abs.
Yeah.
And then you saw, so you were rapping maybe and scratching, working at Red Lobster. Then you saw Eddie at Radio City.
Red Lobster.
I saw Delirious and was like, oh, okay, that's what I should be doing. What the Radio City story is basically me online. It's like one of those things. My father's got the paper. We're the only people on the block with the New York Times. And it's a big full-page ad. Eddie Murphy's going to be playing Radio City. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Okay, I'll get there at 11 o'clock and buy some tickets. This is back.
It's prehistoric times where you had to go to a place to buy a ticket.
It's prehistoric times. So the line was 6 city blocks long.
Oh my God.
It's the longest line you've ever seen in your life. It was like one of those depression lines.
Bread line?
Waiting for bread, yeah.
Yeah, like one of those depression lines, like Eddie Murphy is going to be in a building in 6 months. You know? Anyway,
I'll wait.
I'll wait. And I get online and I'm just reading my paper and I'm like, comic strip. Audition night. Maybe I should go there. And I left line and walked from Radio City to the comic strip. Audition night was not that night. They sent me to Catch. I went to Catch. There was about 40 people outside waiting to pick a number, one of 7 numbers. And you pick a number, and if you pick one of those 7 numbers, you get to perform that night. I got number 7.
Ooh.
I'd never performed ever.
Had you thought of shit to maybe?
I was thinking of shit online while I was on the line.
Do you mean in the line?
In the line.
I'm like,
back
online.
in the
This is
80s,
the 70s.
online meant you were in a line.
I was on the line.
I was confused.
And by the way, of the 40 people, maybe 30 of them had already auditioned before, and it was just a normal thing. Like
they just went back.
Like you see open micers, the same open micers. And so they're all like, oh, your first time. Oh, okay, that's good. Get this one under your belt. This is my 9th or whatever, One day you'll be good or whatever the fuck. Whatever it was. Anyway, cut to I'm the only guy that passed.
Oh.
That night. And
so
you
nice.
had the joke you had, the one
Brett
good joke.
Butler had passed the week before me.
Rest in peace. I'm kidding.
No, she's alive, right? She's alive, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she was great. She
was funny.
She was like my bud.
And you had Here Comes the Neighborhood, right?
Maybe I got it that night. Yeah, I think I did have it that night.
You what were you talking about? Just no recollection.
I said some bad joke about Miles Davis is so black, lightning bugs follow him in the daytime. And
That's funny.
I don't know, maybe 2 more minutes of jokes.
Right.
And I kind of killed.
Yeah. And did you feel like, oh shit, were you like, I shouldn't be killing, or like, this is easy?
It was more like, this is easy. It wasn't like I shouldn't be killing. My ego.
Like, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal? This comedy
Why are you
thing.
waiting for Eddie Murphy?
And I proceeded to kill for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So my first 3 weeks, I'm annihilating.
Wow.
I'm killing to the point they're like, we're thinking about bringing in the SNL people to see you. Like my first year, right? And I brought a girl. I had a girlfriend back then.
I know how this story goes.
And I brought Kim, and I proceeded to bomb for the next 3 years.
No.
Yeah, that's what happens.
I proceeded to, it took me 3 years to even get back to that point.
What do you think it was? Just one of them things?
You know, it's that thing, that confidence and arrogance. Once you get that, like the comedian can't get to that arrogant place.
Yeah.
Gotta be confident. But once you cross that line, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Is it that the failure that like threw you off?
Well, I was probably too cocky up there. First of all, I was young as fuck. You know, and I looked young.
19, 20?
It's like 19, 20. And I looked like 13.
Yeah.
I mean, I weighed like 130 pounds or something.
You couldn't find clothes that fit.
Yeah, like I was
any picture of you before 1990, nothing fits.
Yeah,
everything is too big.
I was so skinny, right? So I really, you know, a lot of stand-up is, you know, there's a reason there's no Justin Bieber of comedy.
Yeah.
There's no Lil Wayne. Like Eddie Murphy is the closest thing we've ever had to a young comedian. And all the rest of them are 30 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a start.
Yeah.
There's one young guy, one guy that was 22 and fucking ripped it. But all the rest of them are kind of grown men and women. And so I was young. And part of the reason is just no one believes you when you're that young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no point of view. There's no
you have no point of view.
dating.
It's like, what do you know?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you know, kid?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
But they'll take Miles Davis being black.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Any age can see that.
Yeah. Take your silly shit. But yeah.
Have you ever talked about why your family moved up from South Carolina? Is that like legal?
Allegedly, somebody. I don't know. Here's the thing: is like I hate all civil rights movies.
What?
Don't get me wrong. I applaud the effort,
Right.
and they should exist. The problem is they only show the back of the bus and the lunch counter. They actually make racism look very like fixable.
Right.
And they don't really get into how dysfunctional the relationships were. And like in the 40s and 50s, like white men would just walk in your house and take your food. You know, like
Yeah. They would just come into your house. They wouldn't knock.
what do you think would happen during the Depression when people are hungry? And white people are hungry. And like, oh, there's black people cooking on that side of town. What do you think would happen? They would walk in your house and take your shit.
It's like a predator-prey relationship.
It's a predator-prey relationship. What do you think white guys, what do you think when it was time to rape, they were raping white women? No, they would go and rape the women they could actually rape without going to jail for. Okay? Or sexual assault, just like, you know, guys and all that shit. You know, all that shit. This shit is so much more, you know, racism and Jim Crow is so much dirtier than any movie ever shows.
It's insidious. It's in every single act and interaction.
Just the amount of rules that existed. I mean, you were probably going to get to this at some point. Like, but I always tell the story of my mother used to get her teeth taken out at the vet.
Yeah.
Because you weren't allowed to go to the dentist. Like no movie shows you that.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, well, if we give them some eggs, they'll be fine.
Yeah, we just gotta not.
Why are these black people complaining?
The seating. Once we get the seating thing squared away.
They can get the Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's. Why are they marching?
But there was the thing where someone kind of got left behind at why your family had to move.
Yeah, something happened with somebody got killed.
Neal knows more. Stories.
Somebody might have. There might be a dead white person somewhere.
Because if
Time
four
to
white
go.
guys came into the house,
No.
and
You gotta
they
move.
got three of them were done.
I'm not going to give the story any justice,
but maybe something happened.
There's a few of my friends have similar stories too. Like some violence went down, and
the black people were
the family had to
responsible,
get out of the South.
Pretty great racism, everybody. Google it.
Yeah.
Why do you
Why do I?
No, hey, explain the social media, the Steve Carlton thing. That's the
Steve Carlton story?
You and I don't like preening on social media, which a lot of people do. Like a lot of people like constant self-congratulations on social media.
Yeah.
And you and I are not fans of it. And you say it's because Al Franken and Conan used to just like
Al Franken
hobble you.
It's so weird that people get in so much trouble now for bussing balls, but
Yeah.
thank God these motherfuckers were just mean and condescending to me. Because
and it was like Conan
and Smigel. Actually, Odenkirk was really nice. I mean, by the way, Conan and those guys.
They're not like you fucking. They weren't fucking deliverancing.
They weren't deliverancing me. They're just like, putting me in my place at the time. But one of the great stories that helped my career out was Al Franken pulls me to the side because I'd had a really good show, the Michael Jordan show.
Michael Jordan when he hosted Saturday
When
Night
he
Live.
hosted SNL. This is Michael Jordan with musical guest Public Enemy.
Oh my God, what a show.
It was the season premiere in 1991.
Anyway, and I had a really good show. And then the next week, I had a bad show. And one of the reasons I had a bad show is because I was, again, it's the same thing about being really funny, getting too cocky, and trying to find that place again. But Al Franken told me this story about this pitcher, Steve Carlton. Probably the best left-handed pitcher in the history of baseball. Second, Randy Johnson would be number one, Steve Carlton number two, right? So Steve Carlton would only pitch if this guy, Tim McCarver, would catch him. That was the deal. If Carlton pitches, McCarver catches him. So, the game isn't just physical, the game's mental, baseball, right? And they found that some hitters, if they let them get a hit early in the game, they wouldn't try as hard later in the game. So there were certain guys they would let get on base. It's like, just throw this guy an easy fastball, let him get on base, and we don't got to worry about that guy later. He's so selfish. He's just going to be like, I got mine. Whatever happens, happens. And Franken's like, that's what happened with you. You got yours at the Michael Jordan show, and then next week you're just too cocky and relaxed, and you got to have that hunger every night. So Al Franken kind of saved my life.
Wow.
So I go hard.
Yeah,
that's what
try.
I go
and
hard.
The thing that I like about you is you try.
Yeah.
Like you during the press, you were saying that you had like mirror. You told me you had a mirror and microphone stand set up in your house for years before Bring the Pain, which is like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That you were actually practicing.
I practice all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like easy or fluid or, yeah.
Wait, I have an SNL question.
If you stay in shape, you don't have to get in shape.
Well, hello.
Thank you.
Floyd Mayweather, baby.
You know how
Money Mayweather.
sometimes when what's his face, Jimmy Fallon would laugh and people like, is there something when you're doing the sketches, breaking the fourth wall, or kind of like, why did people get annoyed at it? Because there's something funny when you.
It's kind of new because when I was there, you would get in trouble for laughing at.
You could not just be like, we're doing a show.
No, I was like, yo, this ain't the Carl Burnett show. Like, no disrespect to Carl Burnett, but that was.
Yeah, that
when I was doing SNL, you laughing during the thing was not. Not encouraged, put it that way.
So it's just like, no, we got to keep it together.
Yeah, we keep it together here.
That makes sense.
Here's a good one. Which is worse?
Which is worse?
Slavery or Jim Crow?
Wow, they're both.
You've said your answer. We've spoken about this before, and it's a.
Well, I mean,
your thoughts on this.
The thing about slavery is like, slavery is slavery. It has rules. You're a slave. Other people have been slaves.
Yeah.
The thing about Jim Crow is like this fake reality.
Yeah.
That we're free. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to answer this. I mean, when people say slavery ended whatever years ago, I always go, no, slavery ended. I count Jim Crow as part of slavery.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, slavery ended in 1975. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm black. I kind of have some shot of making this thing work. The playing field's not equal, but there are avenues and caves of success I can go into. 75.
The thing
10 years after my birth.
Yeah. You said
To put it in perspective.
You go,
and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. You said you understand slavery, but Jim Crow is just fucking mean.
Well, Jim Crow's just the meanest. You have sadistic captors.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we got guys, okay, we have this thing because we want people to work our land. I can kind of understand that on some level. This other shit, water fountains and all this shit and all these, you ever crack open a Jim Crow book?
Not really.
They're really thick. And the amount of laws just about just walking down the street and and you're walking, but if a white woman's walking your way, you have to jump, you have to be in the gutter. You can't be on the sidewalk and like all of this shit that's, and in some states may even still be on the books.
Yeah.
There's a ton of rules about, how much bread you can buy. It's ridiculous how intricate it was.
Yeah, it's fucking mean. It's mean.
It's just mean.
In closing, Chris,
we're almost done with this thing?
Because we got to do the thing.
We got to do drugs?
Chris, yeah.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have questions.
What are the questions?
What's the most expensive gift you've ever given a woman?
Ooh, I'm not even going to say.
Yeah,
What?
somebody's going to be pissed is why he can't say.
I'm not going to say.
Okay, next.
I'm not going to say, but she knows what it is.
Okay, do you have any phobias?
Do I have any phobias? I don't think I do.
I can think of one.
Say
I said, why are you, if you have money, or I didn't bring up, you just said the reason you're doing arenas and pushing so hard. And
my phobia of being poor?
Yes.
More
specific.
I don't want to be just at, well, Dave actually just said this on the Letterman thing. Like, I like being famous.
Yeah.
I do not want to be the miscellaneous black dude.
You said you didn't want to go back to being your aunt's cat.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's not get in trouble, Neal.
You didn't want to go back to that.
I didn't want to go back to that.
Does being famous feel the way you imagined it when you weren't famous?
Just being, and I never thought about it when I wasn't famous.
You weren't but like as an open micer, come on, you could be like, yo, I'm gonna kill it like Eddie.
It's weird though, because my name is actually Chris Rock.
You just knew?
And no, I just had this weird, okay, so if you're the only black kid, only black boy in your grade, in your whole school, guess what? You're famous.
Oh yeah.
Everybody fucking knows who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're like,
yes.
You already.
You know what I mean? Like,
weird.
I mean, it's not a.
You're
no one's
known,
asking for your autograph or anything, but I'm known as a motherfucker.
Is there?
People are pointing, but it's for the wrong reason.
It's for the wrong reason. Yeah.
Was there? What's the biggest?
I had a police escort, but not for reasons of fame.
What's the biggest letdown and the biggest surprise about being famous?
I don't know. I mean,
like, can you get away with shit? Like, can you?
No, especially now, you really can't get away with shit.
Yeah, that's true.
What is the biggest letdown? I don't know. The only letdown to me is you can't cut it off. And I don't really feel like caring about my appearance that much.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just like, oh God. Probably the number one reason I never took any of these talk show offers, because I don't want to care. I don't want to think about my fucking appearance every day.
You got to get a haircut every day. You got to get, yeah. No, it's a pain. It takes 45. It takes
there's nothing funny about it. There's nothing funny about vanity.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, who would you say in person had a charismatic effect over women? A rapper. You've said it before that women would be shocked to hear.
Ooh, Biggie?
Yes.
Yeah, Biggie had lots of women coming after him.
Like before he was that popular.
I feel like he rapped about having a lot of women.
But you didn't believe it because it's a big fat motherfucker.
I believe
That's what was
it.
fun about it. It all seemed fake.
He was a very charismatic cat. The couple of times I saw him was like, yeah, they were on him. They were on him.
God bless him.
God bless him.
And in closing, you're at a nightclub in Atlanta and a dwarf lady is trying to get your attention.
A dwarf lady?
Yeah, that was funny. I was at the club.
Oh, that's
and
real.
I was in my Pookie from New Jack City days, and girls are coming up to me or whatever, and this girl, I guess she's a little person.
Little person, yeah.
And she's like, "Where you staying?" I was like, "Nah, come on." And then she goes, "Can't blame a bitch for trying." I'll always love her for that.
Chris Rock, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
Chris Rock.
Thank
Now
you.
we're probably going to do illegal shit. That's none of your business. God bless.
Goodbye.
How Neal Feel. 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 How Neal Feel.